Hi, welcome back to NTA's new Airsoft channel on YouTube. For inaugural day I did promise I would do a review, so I'm doing a review of the Echo 1 RPK. Now, when this first came out, it came out to loud applause from everybody, and now it's getting hit by a lot of criticism saying, well, it's a rebranded Cyma, yada yada yada. Yes, it's a rebranded Cyma. What did you expect? It's Echo 1. They do not make their own guns. They take other people's stuff, they rebrand it, they improve it a little bit, there you go. This one they did a really damn good job with. I mean, credit where credit is due, this thing is amazing. However, I have some complaints. First off, the barrel is not steel. That is the only part that isn't steel. That I really can't blame them for, because if it was steel, the ATF would throw a hissy fit. They would say that it could be converted into a real weapon, and then you could say goodbye to any further imports on this. Another complaint, bracket for the bipod. Not the greatest one I've ever seen. You can replace it for 25 bucks on the internet, not a problem. Get an original real steel one. It looks better anyway. Plus you can get it adjustable, different legs and everything. Another big complaint. This was the biggest complaint of all, the magazine. You'll notice I do not have a stock magazine in mine. This is because the stock magazine is worth about as much as a brick. It does not work. It does not feed. It's a piece of shit. It is way too long for the gun. It is just overall a nightmare. Get yourself a drum magazine. Yes, this is an AK-74, but yes, it can feed from a drum. I don't know how that works, but I've learned to put aside several of my prejudices when becoming an airsoft player, or a chairsofter, depending on who you ask. Some of the really nice things about this, they did a really good job with the laminated wood. It just feels really nice. It is very durable, and it's so much nicer than having ABS plastic, which I have to tell you, the only plastic part on this gun is right here on the pistol grip. That is technically correct. Well, technically it should be a Bakelite plastic, but I'm not going to split hairs here. The magazine is of course plastic, but if you wanted to upgrade that to steel, you can do that. Again, that's technically correct. It is a Bakelite plastic for a magazine for a 74 pattern rifle. The front sight is a little bit cheap, doesn't really make a difference. The rear sight is very nice because, even though you really can't see it because I'm trying to fit it in frame, it is adjustable for windage, which basically you just pull on this side and turn it. And as you can see from me trying to fit this thing in frame, it is a very big gun. I mean, it's got to be at least 4 feet long, something like that. It has an extremely long inner barrel, which, again, here's one of the negatives I forgot earlier. The inner barrel only comes up to about here, so you're going to have to replace it with a PSG-1 length. I'm sorry to tell you, but, you know, straight out of the box, you'll want to replace that. I recommend a 603 because it's a support weapon. You don't want, 200 BBs hitting the same person. That just is a waste of ammo. Another nice thing this did come with, though, is the Mad Bull Blue bucking and hop-up system in here. That is a very nice touch. It makes the gun very accurate. It shoots very smoothly. It does need oiling periodically because, it's a high-end hop-up. You just have to make sure to take care of it. Overall, the disassembly is the same as your regular AK style rifle. You just lift your top cover off. This is a nice touch. They didn't have to go the extra mile and make the fake charging handle complete with gas piston, but they did. It is correct. It looks like a proper AK piston, which is just a really nice touch. Doesn't affect the rifle at all. Neither helps nor hinders it. But there you go. The rest of strip down is the same as a regular AK. You loosen your little takedown lever, and off comes your gas block. And there you have it. Your weapon is now field stripped for whatever purpose you wanted it to be field stripped for. Speaking overall, I have no idea why anyone would want to field strip this weapon. except to do it once just to say that they've done it. It's pretty much the reason I do it. But it's just nice that, you know, Echo One actually, or I should say Cyma, thought ahead and made it so realistic. Needed a bitch and a half to put together again. Anyway, yeah, we'll worry about that later. Anyway, the basics of operation are the same as the TSD, but I have to tell you this, fair warning, this will not work with TSD drum magazines. I tried that. I paid out the ass for a TSD drum. Doesn't work. Completely worthless. Don't waste your money. You have been warned. It will work with all Cyma pattern magazines, though, and probably all Tokyo Marui and all that, and everything else. Cleaning rod is removable. I'm not going to bother doing that because that's just, you know, extra stuff. Chronoed for me at 420 feet per second out of the box, which that's a really good reading for a support weapon. It's not over powerful, so you don't have to worry about it going in the red and you getting kicked off the field for having a weapon that's way too hot. But it's also not too slow, so you know your opponent is going to actually feel it. Range, I'd say about 250 feet out of the box. It needs a tight bore barrel. It needs a longer barrel, that's for sure, but otherwise it doesn't really need much by way of improvements. As far as where the battery is wired, it's wired right into here, so you do have to screw your butt plate off to take the battery out and put it back in. I've looked into wiring this for a folding stock. It's not going to work because of this charging handle. As you can see, it takes up all the room inside the gas block, so if you got rid of the charging handle, you'd be able to wire it for a Deans and put the Deans in there and whatnot. I don't recommend that. It ruins the whole realism factor of the gun. So, you know, it's really up to you. Do as you will, but there's my recommendation on it. Overall, I would say for $350, this is an excellent piece of equipment. It needs one or two very, very cheap upgrades, and it's going to last you for quite a while. This one has about, I'd say, 10,000 rounds through it, so it's just barely starting to break in, so it's definitely durable. Another big problem I did find is that with the barrel being this long, it's easy to forget and just kind of, you know, hang it down by your side, and then it starts scraping up dirt and catching that into the barrel, so that just be careful of that. Overall, though, I'd say for $350, you could do a whole lot worse. Trust me, you could do way worse than that. End up with an M14 that's a money pit. Oh, another big thing, on the rear sights, they're kind of loose. They're not the greatest rear sight ever, but, you know. And a lot of people have asked, does it come with a rail mount? And yes, it actually does. I don't know if you can see, there you go. That will work with any standard AK style side mount. Personally, I usually have an NSPU-1 night vision scope on here. I don't have it on for the purpose of the review because I was planning to take this apart, and it was a bitch and a half to have to carry a 25-pound scope on top of this rifle. So there's that. Unfortunately, this doesn't come with the carrying handle that I had hoped for, but that's forgivable. Anyway, that's about all there is for this gun, so I hope you've enjoyed this review. If you have any further questions, feel free to just send me a message, and I promise, as always, one of us will get back to you. This is Sergey Mosin signing.